Hard to handle. That's how Miami of Ohio's team describes Tennessee's ace and Liam Doyle.
We kind of knew what we were walking into facing Mr. Doyle. And, he's a load.
They said that they couldn't sit on a single pitch and they were left guessing for much of the game. They did have a little success, though, in the top of the third where Dylan Barker gets the double, a line out gets them to third, and then it's a walk, and Ryan Novak with an absolutely tattooed ball. He rips a line drive to the right field corner for an RBI double to kind of make things interesting early in the game when they played one, and it's about a tied ball game at that point. But after that, they really couldn't get anything going for the second half of Liam Doyle's outing in that game. So after the game, I asked Dylan Barker, what makes Liam Doyle so difficult to get a hit off of? And of course, while they're trying to take away some of his pitches, it's in his ability to adjust within the battle and throughout the game that's most impressive.
Third inning or whatever it was, he kind of lost his feel for his fastball. We started to get on the off-speed pitches, but once he started landing the breaking balls again, it was tough to get back on it. It's impressive to see somebody make that adjustment mid-game.
And Novak really emphasized or re-emphasized the same sentiment that his teammate did and what makes Liam Doyle so lethal in the circle. And, again, while they're trying to take away some of his pitches and they're finding some success early, right, in the first and third inning, they're getting guys in scoring position. They've got guys on the corner, and they're certainly having a few hard hit outs as well where maybe you're holding your breath a little bit. But really, after that third inning, he's like, we were really just off balance the rest of the game.
He also did, a better job fighting back against it, keeping us off balance with every pitch, and then finding that fastball at the top of the zone, kind of beating us after he was landing some off-speed pitches, basically overall just keeping us guessing.
It's important to make the right decisions, like when to go for it on fourth down, or when to kick the field goal or go for the touchdown. It's also important to make the right insurance decisions, too. That's why my office, Trey McAdams State Farm, is here to help you select the right protection at the right price. Our office will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect when the unexpected happens. With Trey McAdams State Farm, it's easy to make the right call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Proud sponsor of the Tennessee Vols.
And maybe why the second half of Liam Doyle's outing looked a little different, or maybe he was more lights out in the second half of his outing than the first half, is because he was operating on so much adrenaline to start the game. Because again, you could go back to the runners on the corners to start, and you maybe look at the walk that he had where it's just 4 straight balls, and then it's Ryan Novak who capitalizes on that line drive. But then it's a meeting with Frank Anderson on the mound, and you hear so much about, we just needed to settle in, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I think you probably could point to that moment where Frank Anderson makes his way to the mound and maybe tries to help him calm down a little bit, right? Because you maybe look at Doyle's last couple of outings where maybe it wasn't to his standard. They were fine outings, but they weren't to his standard. They weren't what they needed in that moment. So maybe so much of it is okay, you're hosting a regional, you're here for Tennessee, and you're trying to create some magic to have a really strong run to get to Sunday and then through the next round as well. So maybe it was more about him kind of cooling off, settling in, and that's what led to those last 3 frames that we saw from Doyle.
Yeah, just had a little adrenaline going, leaving pitches over the middle of the plate. I felt like getting behind in counts, and then just towards the end of the game, started throwing strikes, started throwing my off-speed pitches in the zone early in the count, and just getting ahead of hitters and attacking the zone, trusting my defense, and strikeouts come with that, which is nice, but give my team a chance to win and play baseball.
Yeah, it's really a night and day difference. After that talk, after that inning, you settle in, and then you look kind of like your normal self in the next 3 or so frames, right? Because you could go to the 5th inning where it's 3 up, 3 down, and then the 6th inning, and he gets the first 2 batters to strike out. So you strike out 5 hitters in a row. You look to the 6th inning, and he only needed 7 pitches to get both of those guys out to start that frame, and he gets to 11 strikeouts on his outing, which I think he has only done 5 other times this season to get to 11 plus. So certainly back to the Liam Doyle that a lot of fans get used to and enjoy. So I think that does a lot just to kind of maybe flush the previous outings, see that, build off of that. And it didn't really seem that the blister was much of a factor in this game either, which is always a huge positive when you kind of consider how the game started and how many pitches he had up so early in the game. But of course, later today, it's all Marcus Phillips, who is continuing to build on some really strong outings these last handful of games. And for the junior pitcher. I mean, it's really about capitalizing on that. And Vitello, while he called him out earlier in the season, was singing his praises ahead of their match against Cincinnati tonight. And the Bearcats aren't like a slouch team either. Just earlier this month, they had a series sweep over Kansas, who's 25th in the country right now. And they've got some strong hitters as well. They're another team that really likes an RBI way to score runners. They don't hit too many home runs. But for Marcus Phillips, it's really about him building off of what he's been seeing out on the mound his last few outings.
And then between the lines, he's literally gotten better in every single category. Velocity, you could break it down. And I don't think he's done with that incline. It doesn't mean he's going to, each time the scoreboard will show that, but I think he's...
And I do think, as I'm looking out the window, I think we'll have some sun today. I don't think we'll have much rain like we did yesterday. And if that remains true for later today, then I'll certainly have a post-game recap from a hopeful Tennessee win that keeps them in the winners column and then gets them to the regional championship on Sunday. So certainly stay tuned for that, and then maybe some stuff on Lady Vol softball as they get a much-needed win over the Florida Gators to keep their run in the Women's College World Series alive. I'll talk to you guys later today.